book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, October 19th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.94 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,278 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.5 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $5,594. Antiwar.com reports the spokesman for the Catalonia government has ruled out any move to renounce last week's Declaration of Independence, saying that their answer will be no different on Thursday, the latest in a series of deadlines imposed by Spain to abandon the declaration. Catalan spokesman Jordi Turull added, "Giving in forms no part of this government's scenarios." Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy has threatened to seize the entire Catalonia region outright over the declaration and place it under direct rule of Spain. Catalonia has a long history of autonomy, and in addition to threatening to revoke that, Spanish officials have threatened to charge a number of top Catalan regional officials with sedition or other charges related to supporting secession. Catalan President Carles Puigdemont signed the Declaration of Independence despite threats of arrest, but immediately suspended the declaration. He has since said that the plan for the next 2 months is to try to negotiate with Spain. Those Spanish officials have ruled out any talks unless Catalonia scraps the plan. Demonstrators have continued to rally in Barcelona in favor of independence, and those rallies were out in force again on Wednesday after the latest detention of secessionists.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper reached a settlement with the American Civil Liberties Union on Wednesday to allow transgender individuals to use the public restroom that corresponds to their gender identity. The settlement comes as a result of a lawsuit filed by the ACLU against the state of North Carolina for a state law commonly referred to as the bathroom bill that restricted transgendered people from using the bathroom of their choice. The settlement will now go to a judge for final approval. As part of the pending settlement, Cooper signed an executive consent decree that says transgender individuals are not prevented from using the public facilities in accordance with their gender identity. Cooper wrote a blog post that says this executive order will make North Carolina a more welcoming place. It prohibits discrimination in state government, in my office, and the cabinet agencies on the grounds of race, color, ethnicity, sex, National Guard, or veteran status, sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression, and it requires those doing business with the state through our contracting process to do the same. Critics of the bathroom bill said it legalized discrimination of transgender individuals, leading to protest and boycotts of the state. Karen Anderson, executive director of the ACLU of North Carolina, said the bathroom bill is a shameful and discriminatory attack on transgender individuals, but under this proposed consent decree, North Carolina will finally affirm the rights of transgender people to use the facilities that match their gender.
Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Antiwar.com reports large amounts of territory seized by the Kurdish Peshmerga over the course of multiple years of war with the Islamic State have been ceded back to the Iraqi central government in only about 72 hours. Iraqi officials now say that the Peshmerga is back to its June 2014 borders, the start of the conflict against the Islamic State. Iraq's fast military offensive, bolstered by Shiite militias, saw them seize the oil-rich city of Kirkuk on Monday, expanding into Sinjar and Kanakwin on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, Iraqi forces took territory near Mosul. The Kurdistan regional government had previously indicated they intended to keep all of the territory as part of theirs, and this was particularly important in Kirkuk, which the Kurds have historical claims to. Secessionist ambitions, however, convinced Iraq they needed to push the Peshmerga out of the territory, and despite the Kurdish paramilitary force having a lot of U.S.-provided arms, they don't appear to have been willing to directly contest the offensive, at least not so far. Iraqi officials have not said if they intend to push deeper into Iraqi Kurdistan. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
This year's Coachella Music Festival is happening right now. And that means one thing: the largest gathering of contact jugglers in the world. All the biggest names from the sea juggling scene are performing all over the festival, including Mr. Tomorrow, Isis, White Angel, Chad Brunstein, and of course, the legendary Conundrum. Our own Lena Perez is live at Coachella.
This music festival is a who's who of org masters and jugglement.
What have the highlights been so far?
Well, Yasu Kaitu did his first stateside performance in 3 years over by the Smoothie Tent, which was amazing. And there was festival favorite Hans Hansman freestyling in his usual spot near the portable toilets. But I'm really excited for Becca Flannery Miller. She's 4'5", wears transition lenses, and is a master of the multi-ball.
I love her. And I heard there was a surprise late-night set from the Winterhorn Brothers.
Yeah, right outside the DJ tent. It was an unbelievable flurry of spearsmanship.
I wish I was there.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We'll give you the toll-free call-in lines here momentarily where you can join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And, well, I know this was discussed last night because it was basically all over the news for the last couple of days that the governor of Florida had declared a state of emergency because a white supremacist, white nationalist was going to be speaking at the University of Florida.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
That happened today.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, based on some searches for news stories, it seems like there wasn't really anything eventful, but still interesting nonetheless. The Los Angeles Times has the story. They say students and other audience members heavily booed white nationalist Richard Spencer on Thursday as he gave a speech at the University of Florida, where the atmosphere was tense but mostly peaceful as police in riot gear kept watch. One speaker who came on stage to introduce Spencer said, "We represent a new white America." Student protesters responded with shouts of "Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter." Later, Spencer supporters, some of whom filled the front rows of the Phillips Center for Performing Arts, chanted back, "You will not replace us."
I'm sorry, where was that being held?
On the campus of University of Florida, the
What?
Phillips Center for Performing Arts.
Center for Performing Arts. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I heard that correctly.
I almost feel like it's kind of hard not to talk about this because it's all over the news, so you want to share your 2 cents, but I almost feel like just giving people like this a platform and talking about them is like giving attention to bad behavior. You know what I mean? Like, when you think about it, all of these people, because this is just something I'd never heard of personally growing up, was just like all the racism and all the, back and forth that's been in the news for the last couple of years, really. It's been a few years that it's really taken like a front stage topic on the news, the evening news. I think prior to a few years ago, it was more like, I don't know, terrorism and that kind of stuff, I guess.
I'd say even really within the last year. But growing up, I can remember at various points hearing, the Nazis or the KKK wants to march at X parade, or was it Skokie? I'm trying to remember. But that would come up.
Rings a bell.
Yeah, it would come up, and there would be a big, they can't say this, or yes, we can, First Amendment. But that would always be the argument. The argument was, and the news was, that this case is headed to this, circuit court, or it's headed to the Superior Court, or it's headed to the Supreme Court. And that was the story about whether people actually have the right. This is all very different to me in that it's just people wanting to shut down what they don't like. They're not even really going about it in a legal manner. They're just going there and saying, no, we're not going to let you talk. Now, to me, if you're going to a state-funded organization or location like a college, which gets state and federal funding to operate, then, yeah, you have all your First Amendment protections when you go there. And I hate to sound like I'm siding with white supremacists because I abhor everything they stand for. Mm-hmm. But this to me is kind of a no-brainer. Yes, you have a right to speak. Protesters, yes, you have a right to protest. But just to, say, no, you cannot come here because we don't like your message is wrong. So
the article continues. Some of the protesters started shouting, "Go home, Spencer." Richard Spencer retorted, saying, "You're trying to stifle free speech." Said that to a crowd of continuous boos and chants throughout his speech, in which he recited his ideas about the ideal of a white nation. Police and media helicopters circled the area Thursday as hundreds of protesters marched in opposition to his appearance. Demonstrators were met by a blockade of police wearing riot gear. One of the marchers, Lamont Kendrick of Gainesville, said, "From what I've learned, the guy preaches hate. What he says doesn't make sense. It's like the 60s or something. Gainesville already had enough hate and racism in its history." Spencer's last major public appearance with other white nationalists ended with a deadly riot in Charlottesville, Virginia in August. Spencer gained national prominence in recent years for his support of President Trump and for his views calling for a separate nation for white people. The apparent resurgence in white nationalism in the United States has sparked anti-supremacists to mobilize their own efforts, including some nonviolent demonstrations and pressure campaigns on companies providing services to white nationalists, and sometimes violent attacks intended to drive them out of public spaces. Spencer has turned his sights to public universities, and this is the interesting part of this story. Spencer has turned his sights to public universities where First Amendment protections of free speech limits official abilities to deny him a platform. Officials at the University of Florida have confirmed that they've spent roughly $500,000 on security for the event, and police from around Florida gathered in Gainesville to assist local police.
Yep.
And how much did Richard Spencer wind up paying of that $500,000 for security? My guess is zero.
I'm certain you're right.
About 700 free tickets were available for the event and were supposed to be distributed outside the venue on a first-come, first-served basis, according to Spencer's website, altright.com. Weapons were banned from the event, along with a wide range of other items, including water bottles, masks, shields, and hats. Spencer tweeted before the event, "Everyone is welcome at #SpencerAtUF. This is going to be an important dialogue for the entire community."
What's in the important dialogue is freedom of speech, and you can't help talk about this stuff from a constitutional point of view and not come across as sounding like someone who supports the message. I do not support the message, but I support everybody's right to free speech, and that's
right. And I also believe that, if there's going to be a need for security, and I'm using air quotes around that because some places they wind up saying, well, any event, quote unquote, legally needs security.
Right.
But if it, legitimately needs security like this, well, the organizers of the event should be the ones paying for the security.
Pay the burden. Yep.
It should not wind up being at taxpayer expense.
Right.
There's definitely more to this. Let's go to the phones first. We've actually got a Skype call. We've got Bitcoin Baron calling in from the seacoast of New Hampshire. Bitcoin Baron, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hello, Free Talk Live. Today I have a great announcement. First of all, Portsmouth, New Hampshire is now Crypto Village. We are really getting a lot of Bitcoin businesses.
Hold on, Crypto Village. So this was like an official declaration from the Portsmouth City Council where they renamed the town?
The Portsmouth City Council is not a business and therefore doesn't deal in Bitcoins, but the influential business people and Bitcoin users in the town have decided that they are now Bitcoin Village.
All right.
And and in particular, today I'm glad to announce 5 new retail businesses that accept Dash and Bitcoin for all of their merchandise and food and drinks.
Cool. So
that's amazing. So
what's the total bring for the Portsmouth area now? Total number of businesses that accept.
We now have 12 retail businesses that are open every day of the week where you can walk into without an appointment and spend Bitcoin.
Excellent.
That's amazing. And I actually recognize this voice, and I think some other Free Talk Live listeners might as well. I'm not sure if you were on the show from the Bitcoin shop in Portsmouth a few weeks ago when there was the 5th anniversary release of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree show recorded from the Bitcoin shop. But can I say that you're one of the proprietors of that facility?
That is correct. I'm at my home right now.
Excellent. Not sure if you have more. Hang on if you do. But that's definitely huge news that they're bringing on 5 more businesses.
No, it brings them up to like Keene, New Hampshire level.
Yeah. Your calls and thoughts welcome, whether it be about Bitcoin or free speech. 855-450-FREE.
Called it elephant skin. It was rough, wrinkly, like a Brillo pad.
His hair was falling out in clumps.
Petey stopped eating and all his hair fell out.
Our golden retriever, Sundance, he scratched incessantly. There was hair all over.
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Within 2 weeks, the shedding slowed down to almost none. The scratching went away after a few days, and Sundance's coat was starting to get shiny and glossy.
It's a 180 turnaround. His skin has cleared up. He is not in pain.
If your dog has shedding, dry skin, excessive scratching,
do the Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try. Dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's the toll-free call-in line where you can join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Consider joining Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private, it is easy, the fees are low, and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash, so go right now to dash.org and find out why. Heading back to the phones, or actually back to Skype, where we've got Bitcoin Baron calling in from the seacoast of New Hampshire. Bitcoin Village is what he's calling the municipality that he lives in. Just announced that there were, 5 new businesses, bringing to a total of 12 in the city of Portsmouth?
That's correct. And they all accept Dash. Speaking of Dash, it's great and fast and super cheap for people to use. Today, I bought a delicious strawberry cake and a fancy coffee. I also call myself Bitcoin Baron now because I bought a really sweet cape with Bitcoin at this cool, spooky, ethereal emporium.
Do you also have a little airplane that you run around in, kind of like Snoopy?
Not the red bear.
Fly around in it.
But Snoopy also didn't really fly around in it. He just pretended to fly around in.
Snoopy had a doghouse. But back to Portsmouth. I mean, that's really cool news. You guys certainly are not resting on your laurels. I suppose you've got a few more. And I think I just wanted to ask, are you said all 12 businesses are accepting Dash too?
Not all 12 businesses are accepting Dash. I do believe 2 of the businesses, our original 2, are only Bitcoin as of now.
Now, I have a question.
That may change in the future.
So, I know at least with Bitcoin, people don't actually know who invented it. Is that the same with Dash and all these other cryptocurrencies? Or are there people that actually have, come out and be like, oh, I'm the one that, created Dash or Ethereum.
Most of the ones other than
all of the
Bitcoin, they know who
contributors to
the
Dash
inventor was.
Are well-known people.
I think that actually makes me more like want to invest more in that currency because the creator is actually putting himself out there as like, you know what I mean? Like there's just something about transparency that I find more appealing, knowing who created, all these other cryptocurrencies. Where I find with Bitcoin, it's like, you really don't know who made it, and
was it the NSA? Was it the CIA?
You really don't.
I know.
Like, there is like a weird
well, we don't know who invented the
of,
wheel, but you drive around on something with 4 of them.
If I looked it up, I'm sure I could figure.
Actually, I would like to speak.
The truth about Bitcoin is most people know, or it's well known who has developed the code since the creator created the white paper, and about 99% of the code it was written by well-known people. So it's not really unknown who created the current
Who's the people,
version of
like
Bitcoin.
the pioneers of it, though? Like that wrote
You can see their contributions right in the code.
Yeah.
It's all online. It's published. They have thousands of articles they've written.
Yeah. And
but
I
these
want
merchants here in Portsmouth, they love Bitcoin and Dash because it's private. The money goes straight from their customers right to their Swiss bank account, essentially. And it's not on the record. They can treat it like cash, and it's exciting. It's drawing a lot of people specifically to Portsmouth just to use Bitcoin and explore the Bitcoin tour here in Portsmouth.
Right. We experience that, and Baron, I own a shop too, and we've always accepted cryptocurrencies kind of since day one. Start out with Bitcoin, and then as we were able to, accepted pretty much virtually any major cryptocurrency. So we experience that too, sort of that crypto tourism. People have it. They want to spend it in real life. They don't want to just be able to go to a website or do a donation. They want to actually exchange it, which is kind of cool. So I wanted to ask you briefly about Dash. Dash has an interesting part of its whole ecosphere, which really can allow funds to go to organizations to promote Dash. And that's not to say that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just that's a way that it's sort of built into the network to promote itself.
Right. They've got a built-in marketing budget.
Yeah, which is very cool. And it's not something that only Dash could do. Any cryptocurrency, if the people that are doing the code and the people that, depending on your coin or your asset, feel that that's a worthwhile endeavor, could support. Do you feel that is really helping all of crypto acceptance? Is it the help with Dash? Yeah, that's my question.
Yes, definitely, because Dash is a cryptocurrency marketing engine. They have millions of dollars every month that they spend on various marketing initiatives that are planned and voted upon by people who really care about cryptocurrency and really want it to succeed. And they're putting out the message that anyone can use cryptocurrency to send any amount of money to anyone in the world without approval. And that the rules about Dash apply to all cryptocurrency. So It is a gateway, and there are people who are starting to use Dash and they've never used Bitcoin before. And that's very exciting to me. It's basically the same as Bitcoin and gives all the same freedoms, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I think that's an important distinction that you can do lots of things with any of these cryptocurrencies, and if one succeeds, it tends to pull the rest of them up. I read an interesting article. It was a blog post entitled "An Open Letter to Jamie Dimon." Darryl, I don't know if you got a chance to skim that.
I did not skim the letter, but he's the guy that's the head of some big mega bank. He wound up doing some really bad investing a couple years ago, lost, what was it, like $1 trillion, but then wound up getting a pay raise because, well...
Oh, Jamie Dimon?
You did a good job trying.
Jamie Dimon's company, J.P. Morgan Chase, under
that's the one.
Jamie Dimon's leadership, was fined somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 billion for the 2008 housing crisis, their response to it and the things that they did.
Yeah.
And since then, they have pretty much done various things fraudulently to pay for their charges of fraud, and that's been an ongoing thing.
But I think it's guys like this who who really make people here in Portsmouth want to use an alternative system.
Right.
They're just disgusted by these guys. And now they can use software that doesn't even have middlemen. The point of sale system they're using doesn't touch the money at all. It goes straight from the customers right to the merchant's account. And they're so glad to be off the grid in that way and away from Jamie Dimon.
Right. The key thing that I took out of this article, which I think is superb, and we'll put it up in the show notes, was Bitcoin or Dash or any of these other currencies that we talk about are never going to be the best solution. They're not going to be better than Visa. They're not going to be better than PayPal. But what they do offer is decentralization and ability to not be censored. And that's where you beat the Jamie Dimons of the world.
Bitcoin Baron, thank you for the call. Definitely keep us posted and updated on Bitcoin Village out there on the seacoast of New Hampshire. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Dr. Carolyn Dean wants you to have a free chapter of her new book, The Magnesium Miracle 2nd Edition, and it's available at magmiracle.com. In your free chapter, Dr. Carolyn Dean explains how magnesium is essential to support the structure and function and overall health of your body. Your free chapter is your guide to learn how to support your heart, bone, metabolic, lung, and mental health with this powerful mineral. The Magnesium Miracle 2nd Edition is available on Amazon, but right now get a free chapter at magmiracle.com, spelled M-A-G, miracle.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's the toll-free call-in line where you can join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And maybe you're not able to listen to the show live. Maybe you don't live in one of the listening areas of the nearly 170 radio stations that carry the show. And maybe you don't have the best internet, so you can't stream the show, but you've got unlimited minutes on your phone. Well, we do have a call-in listen line, an audio on-demand listen line. 641-793-9660. Call that number any time of the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Listen to either the show that's live, if it's during the live period, or the most recent show, 641-793-9660. And it's not just Free Talk Live that's on there. It's all of the live programs from the Liberty Radio Network. Free Talk Live, Declare Your Independence, Freedom Fiends, The Angel Clark Show, and several others. And if you want to give some feedback, you can do that as well. I believe it's press 0 while you're listening. Leave a voicemail that winds up going to several of the hosts. Chris, you had mentioned in the last segment a letter. Is this to Jamie Dimon or from Jamie Dimon?
To Jamie Dimon.
To Jamie Dimon. From whom?
It's from a gentleman named Adam Ludwin, and he runs a company called Chain. It's a blockchain company.
And again, Jamie Dimon is like the investment guy for JP Morgan.
He is the CEO, the head honcho of JP Morgan Chase. He is the highest guy in the biggest bank in the United States.
Yeah. And he's had some choice words about Bitcoin users recently, including a few days ago saying, I'm never talking about Bitcoin again, and then immediately talking about Bitcoin again. So I think that's what prompted this letter, and you're not going to read the full thing.
No, but we'll try to touch on a couple points. Yeah. And what I would like to share with the listeners is we'll put this up on our Facebook page, and we'll put it on wherever else we put stuff.
The Twitter. But the Facebooks and the Twitters.
The title of it is called A Letter to Jamie Dimon and Anyone Else Still Struggling to Understand Cryptocurrencies. So this is my new favorite thing to point people to who go, I just don't get it. I don't understand cryptocurrencies. I don't understand what blockchain is. This is a really good way to get a grasp on it. So
I just point out, I still don't understand how the magnetic strip on my debit card works.
Right.
I don't understand how the internal combustion engine works, but I still use cars.
Now we got those little chips in the debit cards too, and I don't understand how those works either.
Yeah. Well, point is on some of this thing, some of this stuff we don't have to, and I'm just going to give you this guy's take on it.
So just read a little bit, and then we will go back to the phones.
Sure. Dear Jamie, my name is Adam Ludwin, and I run a company called Chain. I've been working in and around cryptocurrency markets for several years. Last week, you said a few things about Bitcoin. At 1:27 p.m., I could care less about Bitcoin. At 1:28 p.m., I don't understand the value of something without value. People who purchase Bitcoin are stupid. Who cares about Bitcoin? Governments are going to crush Bitcoin one day. Governments like to control their economies and currencies. Bitcoin is a great product if you're a criminal. And then finally,
U.S. dollars are also a great product if you're a criminal.
Right. And then this is the last time I talk about Bitcoin. He goes on, it's easy to believe cryptocurrencies have no inherent value or that governments will crush them. It's also become fashionable to believe the opposite, that they will disrupt banks, government, and Silicon Valley giants once and for all. Neither extreme is true. The reality is nuanced and important. which is why I've decided to write you this brief note. I hope it helps you appreciate cryptocurrencies more deeply. Let me start out by stating that I believe that, 1, the market for cryptocurrencies is overheated and irrationally exuberant. There are lots of poseurs creating them, and some scammers too. There are lots of conflicts of interest, self-serving hype, and obfuscation. Very few people in the media understand what's going on. Very few people in finance understand what's going on. Very few people in technology understand what's going on. Very few people in academia and government understand what's going on. Very few people buying cryptocurrencies understand what's going on. And finally, it's very possible that I don't understand what's going on. Also, banks and governments aren't going away, and traditional software isn't going away. In short, there's a lot of noise, but there is also signal. To find it, we need to start by defining a cryptocurrency. Without a working definition, we are lost. Most people argue that cryptocurrencies are talking past each other because they don't stop to ask what the other side thinks cryptocurrencies are for. So here's my definition. Cryptocurrencies are a new asset class that enable decentralized applications.
Yeah, that sounds to be very accurate.
So I do think that's a really good description. So if we think about Bitcoin, the decentralized application is payments.
Right.
Or transferring something of value from one person to another. Bitcoin is the asset class that gets moved back and forth. Or if we think about something like Ethereum, and for those of you who don't know, Ethereum is sometimes referred to as the world computer. It's sort of this big, vast, decentralized network of computer nodes and people and software that allows things to be built on top of it.
Right. So I think most people might be familiar with what WordPress is.
Right.
I look at Ethereum as the cryptocurrency version of WordPress, to where it's not the thing of value itself, but the plugins that wind up getting applied to it. Those are the things of value.
Or the content.
Right.
In either case, it's sort of that framework. So in both cases, we have this thing that does something, and then on top of it, we have some unit of value that works with that. So he goes on. If this is true, your point of view...
Let's actually go back to the phones instead of delving too much deeper in this. The link has been posted on the Facebook and the Twitter, but we might jump back into it. Let's go to Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. Dave Ridley, you're on Free Talk Live with Darryl, Heather, and Chris. Go ahead with your thoughts.
That is not how I sing it.
You do it much better,
Yeah, I know
Dave.
That's not how you sing it. I just don't remember how you sing it.
Can you do it one time for us, Dave? Hate to put...
Thank you for the free plug and the chance to make my own free plug. Yeah, I usually sing RidleyReport.com.
Yeah, you do it much better than I do. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, as some of you recall, there was an incident. Well, I guess I should go a little further back in history. One of the first things that was really exciting to me when I moved to New Hampshire was how supportive so many local people were. And over the years, it's become harder and harder to distinguish Free Staters in New Hampshire and the local supporters in New Hampshire. For the uninitiated, the Free Staters are people who moved to New Hampshire for more freedom, basically.
Right. Specifically, people that moved as signatories of the Free State Project Statement of Intent. But, continue with your thought.
One of the people who's been supportive for many years of the Free Staters is Tammy Simmons, who's a state rep. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's a Free Stater. I think she was already here or moved independently or whatever. But I wanted to kind of return the favor today because she, most recently, she really spoke up in support of the Free Staters when the Speaker of the House attacked us. So you remember that?
Yes.
Yes, the soon-to-be former Speaker of the House.
Yeah, that's going to be a big improvement once he's out. But anyway, yeah, she was among the first to. I mean, she may have been the one that he was speaking against initially, actually, when this whole kerfuffle got started. But anyway, she is running for re-election and has put out a request for donations so she can fund a mailing to her constituents. So she just needs $300 to make a mailing. And no election that I know of that's coming up immediately, but there's always action all year long.
Dave, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are two Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
Happy the rescue dog. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby, but I have a vet that I trust, and she recommended Dinovite.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of Super Mega Fish Oil free.
Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply, or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now, earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Turning to Capitol Hill, House Republicans are considering their own version of the Violence Against Women Act. The GOP hopes their new no-punch Pretty Lady bill will finally help the party appeal to female voters.
No punch, no rape. Pass law. Women give big smiles at us again. Big votes.
Among its statutes, the bill would introduce harsher penalties for putting fists to women's face and proposes that if ladies smell nice like flowers, no smash lady.
And what if Pretty Lady Al-Qaeda? What if she death panel? What if she Benghazi? Yes, in some cases, punch lady.
In addition to increasing funding to shelters for crying ladies hurt from doing sex with bad guys, the bill also includes a clause complimenting the nation's women for losing weight.
And in other headlines, Lady Gaga kidnaps Commissioner Gordon. A man who likes to move it is still searching for the perfect song. And Rod Stewart is mistaken for an elderly aunt.
This is the Onion News Network.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can call in, bring up whatever is on your mind. with us, the us being Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And did you know that now you can mine Bitcoin from your home at pool.bitcoin.com, and you don't have to worry about the cost of constant equipment upgrades, maintenance, utility cost going up, etc. You can make Bitcoin every day, like some of the hosts of this show, at pool.bitcoin.com. There's a 100% uptime guarantee. The website is easy to use, and you can calculate your estimated return on investment right there on the website, pool.bitcoin.com. Not just that, you can also help steer Bitcoin towards the liberating currency that Satoshi Nakamoto meant it to be. You're not just making money at pool.bitcoin.com, you're doing activism while you sleep. Pool.bitcoin.com. Now, let's actually jump back into the article that we started the show off with about the white nationalist that went down to the University of Florida. The Florida governor had declared a state of emergency, and the LA Times reports that officials at the University of Florida confirmed they spent roughly $500,000 on security for the event, and police from around Florida gathered in Gainesville to assist the local police. About 700 free tickets were available for the event and supposed to be distributed on a first-come, first-serve basis. Weapons were banned, along with a wide range of other items, including water bottles, masks, shields, and hats. The article, again, from the LA Times, says police corralled protesters into a single line outside the venue and turned away attendees for a variety of reasons, including a military vet who had a cane because they said that's a potential weapon. One woman said she was denied because the individual she was with was a black man. And some journalists with cameras and notepads were denied access but allowed to enter once they put those items safely away.
Hey, they put a ban on hats?
That's what it says here, yes.
Yeah, okay, so I'm trying to understand what could possibly be dangerous about a hat unless you're...
It could be a hard hat. You could use it as a weapon.
It might hurt someone. And I don't know if the school had a safe space.
Well, yeah, I was more concerned
you could
that
hide a weapon under the hat.
The hat, or the old James Bond movie with the guy who would take off his hat and throw it. Yeah.
Ninja stars.
Yeah. But I'm just sitting here going, to deny someone to wear a hat, which is just part of clothing, that sounds more like they're trying to deny anybody with a message on said hat from coming in. That's the way it reads to me.
Maybe they thought they'd be like hiding stuff in their hat.
But if they ban everything, then I guess. But I've never even been to like a concert or anything where they didn't let you wear a hat in.
So like a friend of mine, some of you listening probably saw my news to share footage of the free speech rally for a friend of mine. Well, he had someone live streaming this event, and he kind of specializes in like protests and stuff like that. That's like his whole news content is all stuff like this, like protest stuff that grabs the attention outside the White House. And he had somebody there, and when this person was live streaming on their Facebook page, they were going around kind of asking different people that showed up to counter protest why they were there, what was, bringing them out, just to get their side of the story, I guess. And one of the guys on the live stream mentions that he didn't even know this Richard Spencer guy, didn't know who he was, but he came here because he got a text message. And I'm pretty sure, it was kind of hard to hear, but I'm pretty sure it's from like the state because of the national emergency. So when the governors issue the state of emergency, at least in Massachusetts, we'd always get like weather text messages. Right. We'd get Amber Alerts.
Oh, that's a default setting on your phone. You can go into the settings and turn off everything except for the presidential advisory messages.
So anyway, these people that showed up to counter protest showed up in response, many of them anyway, to getting the text message that they know they wouldn't even have been there.
I think it's speculation to say that many of the protesters showed up only because they got the text message from the government. But certainly, you do have anecdotal evidence that at least one person.
Right, some may have.
Continuing with.
Well, that text message went out to a giant chunk of the state,
Right, and I'm not denying that people got the text message. I'm just saying you can't say that because you know one person that showed up because of the text message, therefore
Fair enough, Darryl.
the majority of protesters did.
Fair enough, Darryl. I didn't interview each and every person.
But I think it's a safe assumption to say that some may have been influenced by that.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. Continuing, they say, inside the auditorium, a group of Spencer supporters sat close to the stage while the audience of protesters sat towards the back, separated from Spencer and his proponents by a row of empty seats and a cordon of police. So at least here, the police were doing a good job of separating the two sides, whereas in Charlottesville, they're like, yeah, go ahead and fight each other because you're both looking for a fight. Go ahead and fight. Here, they were preventing that. At least it seems that way, and I'm not seeing any reports of fights. Spencer initially protested the boos as suppression of his free speech, but later began taking questions from the audience, who variously asked him why he had not left yet, and how he could form a white ethno-state without performing violent ethnic cleansing. Many in the audience protested by standing during his speech and holding up their fist, a symbol of the Black Power movement. One questioner, who introduced himself as a son of immigrants, told Spencer he was disappointed with the crowd's protest, saying he wanted to engage in dialogue. Another introduced herself as a beautiful brown woman of Egyptian and Puerto Rican descent. She thanked Spencer for coming and asked, how did it feel to get punched in the face on camera?
Is that how she introduced herself? Can you repeat that sentence?
She introduced herself as, quote, a beautiful brown woman, end quote, of Egyptian and Puerto Rican descent.
Okay.
Is that what you thought?
Yeah, I just never really introduced myself as a strikingly handsome Chris Reitman, even though I should.
It would be strikingly
You're
handsome.
the most
white
handsome
man.
Chris Reitman I know.
So is that how we should all introduce ourselves everywhere we go? Is state our color, our ethnicity. So it'll be like a job application. Like, hi, I'm Heather. I'm white.
I'm Chris Caucasian. Right. Yeah, there we go.
If you
female.
wish to identify with some ethnicity strong enough to where that's how you identify yourself, go ahead. I'm not going to do that. When I lived in Alabama, interestingly, they don't have voter registration based on political party. They have voter registration based on race.
What?
And it actually says race, not ethnicity.
What?
Yes. Now, candidates, they do identify as a political party, but the voter registration itself, the voter registration form asks for your race. Last time I lived in Alabama, I registered to vote as human.
Oh, jeez.
Was that an option? Did you have to write that in?
It was in the other column, where you could write in whatever you wanted to if it wasn't.
So what were the choices?
I don't. It's been 11 years, but I think it was like white, African American, Hispanic, other. I think
it's just the standard boxes you see on.
Darryl brings it up like it's specifically about that. Like, all whites must register to vote by the end of day on Tuesday. All blacks have to be done by Friday.
No, the reason they do that is because, again, they don't do by political party, and there have been Supreme Court rulings about having majority minority districts, and they do it so that they can try shoving as many minorities in one congressional district as possible.
It makes gerrymandering more efficient?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Why don't you just say that, Darryl? In an effort to make gerrymandering easier and to disqualify and displace more votes, we've chosen to do it this way.
Right, and it's based on race, not parties, so therefore, this Supreme Court case that's going to be decided fairly soon will not affect, the state of Alabama because their voter registration is not based on party. Continuing with the LA Times story, they say the student who asked Richard Spencer how did it feel to get punched in the face on camera was referring to a viral video of Spencer being struck by an anti-fascist in Washington, D.C. on the day of Trump's inauguration. Her question drew cheers from the crowd. Spencer responded, "It hurt. Yeah, it hurts when someone punches you in the face. Is that even a real question?" He added, "What's the point of such a question? Are you threatening me with violence? Do you all want to get your hands dirty? Are you ready Are you really willing to do something like that, or do you just want to shout self-righteously? The woman's question was the final one during Spencer's 90-minute appearance. Again, where the university spent nearly $500,000 on security for the event. Richard Spencer was not sent a bill as far as we know. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. Coincap.io. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, October 19th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.94 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,278 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.5 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $5,594. Antiwar.com reports the spokesman for the Catalonia government has ruled out any move to renounce last week's Declaration of Independence, saying that their answer will be no different on Thursday, the latest in a series of deadlines imposed by Spain to abandon the declaration. Catalan spokesman Jordi Turull added, "Giving in forms no part of this government's scenarios." Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy has threatened to seize the entire Catalonia region outright over the declaration and place it under direct rule of Spain. Catalonia has a long history of autonomy, and in addition to threatening to revoke that, Spanish officials have threatened to charge a number of top Catalan regional officials with sedition or other charges related to supporting secession. Catalan President Carles Puigdemont signed the Declaration of Independence despite threats of arrest, but immediately suspended the declaration. He has since said that the plan for the next 2 months is to try to negotiate with Spain. Those Spanish officials have ruled out any talks unless Catalonia scraps the plan. Demonstrators have continued to rally in Barcelona in favor of independence, and those rallies were out in force again on Wednesday after the latest detention of secessionists. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper reached a settlement with the American Civil Liberties Union on Wednesday to allow transgender individuals to use the public restroom that corresponds to their gender identity. The settlement comes as a result of a lawsuit filed by the ACLU against the state of North Carolina for a state law commonly referred to as the bathroom bill that restricted transgendered people from using the bathroom of their choice. The settlement will now go to a judge for final approval. As part of the pending settlement, Cooper signed an executive consent decree that says transgender individuals are not prevented from using the public facilities in accordance with their gender identity. Cooper wrote a blog post that says this executive order will make North Carolina a more welcoming place. It prohibits discrimination in state government, in my office, and the cabinet agencies on the grounds of race, color, ethnicity, sex, National Guard, or veteran status, sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression, and it requires those doing business with the state through our contracting process to do the same. Critics of the bathroom bill said it legalized discrimination of transgender individuals, leading to protest and boycotts of the state. Karen Anderson, executive director of the ACLU of North Carolina, said the bathroom bill is a shameful and discriminatory attack on transgender individuals, but under this proposed consent decree, North Carolina will finally affirm the rights of transgender people to use the facilities that match their gender.
Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Antiwar.com reports large amounts of territory seized by the Kurdish Peshmerga over the course of multiple years of war with the Islamic State have been ceded back to the Iraqi central government in only about 72 hours. Iraqi officials now say that the Peshmerga is back to its June 2014 borders, the start of the conflict against the Islamic State. Iraq's fast military offensive, bolstered by Shiite militias, saw them seize the oil-rich city of Kirkuk on Monday, expanding into Sinjar and Kanakwin on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, Iraqi forces took territory near Mosul. The Kurdistan regional government had previously indicated they intended to keep all of the territory as part of theirs, and this was particularly important in Kirkuk, which the Kurds have historical claims to. Secessionist ambitions, however, convinced Iraq they needed to push the Peshmerga out of the territory, and despite the Kurdish paramilitary force having a lot of U.S.-provided arms, they don't appear to have been willing to directly contest the offensive, at least not so far. Iraqi officials have not said if they intend to push deeper into Iraqi Kurdistan. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Now, how much money will all those closeted Republican convention goers bring into the city, Marie?
A lot. The average area prostitute normally makes around $200 to $300 a week jerking off truck drivers behind the bus station.
I see.
Next week, they are expecting to make 30 times that amount sucking off secretly gay Republicans.
Wow.
You figure the fact that these delegates are so repressed and filled with self-hatred,
yes,
they tend to like the filthiest, kinkiest sex acts imaginable.
Oh, that's
which
right.
tends to cost more. The average well-adjusted gay man has no desire to smear fecal matter all over his partner's face or be beat up by him. But that is exactly the sort of thing that these repressed conservatives are willing to pay top dollar for.
Okay, as well as the services of transsexuals, I understand.
Yes. A lot of the Republicans repeatedly call the prostitutes faggots or start crying after they've had sex with them.
I suppose the prostitutes are shoring up on their politics so they can talk to the Republicans.
Ha ha, Andrea, what do you think this is, Pretty Woman? They're just there to get right.
Thank you, Marie Byron.
RNC's always a good time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Kicking off hour number 2. You can call in and join us by dialing 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, the Los Angeles Police Department is getting themselves some drones. Woo-hoo. Even though the people that live in Los Angeles don't want them to wind up getting the drones. We'll tell you about it.
Get some.
Plus your calls and thoughts. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And let's go to the Skype where we've got Stefan calling in from Ohio. Stefan, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
That would be the Commonwealth of Skype, Brother Darryl.
The Commonwealth of Skype.
Stefan, I just want to congratulate you on upping your game within your first 2 seconds of a call.
Yes, I love it. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I know that you guys, at least I know Darryl and Chris seem to be, are heavy users of cryptocurrencies, right?
That's fair to say.
I only snorted like 3 cryptocurrencies today.
Well, I've been on the fence for it a while. I've never really truly dabbled in it. And the reason is I have to admit I'm a bit of a skeptic when it comes to the worth of cryptocurrencies and what benefit. And, you know, everybody always says it's a great alternative. You know, Bitcoin, for example, is a great alternative to the US dollar. Well, how do you get Bitcoins? You can either A, spend US dollars on the Bitcoins, or B, spend US dollars on the equipment to mine said Bitcoins. So what would you say the advantages are for a newbie like me to get into cryptocurrencies?
Well, the most cited advantages are Bitcoin really isn't controlled by anything, and
it has to be controlled by something, though. That's what I have a hard time with.
Well, we'll get to that, but what I mean to say is there is no central bank, there is no central committee, there is no government that controls what Bitcoin is and what it does. It's
the
open
Fed
source.
chairman can't just say, you know what, we're doing quantitative easing and adding $4 trillion to the Bitcoin economy.
Which then would devalue your Bitcoin. That's what governments practice usually as a way to boost their exports by cheapening their own money. So that is one advantage. The other advantage that I really see is this idea of there are certain financial transactions that one cannot make. So, for example, if I want to put $15,000 into a bank account, and if I go there, then it's not that I can't do it, I can do it, but I realize that the bank is then going to fill out a form.
The suspicious activities report, I believe, is what they call that.
And it's going to get filed with the Secretary of the Treasury at the federal level.
Right.
And I become part of a database. It's just...
And then even if, let's say you don't go in with $15,000, you go in with $7,000. And then a week and a half from now, you go in with another $7,000.
Oh, yeah.
And then a week and a half from now, you go in, or, from that date, you go in with another $7,000. Oh, well, now it appears that you're structuring to make sure that none of your deposits are over $10,000. So that's a suspicious activity report.
Right. So there's that.
No matter what you do, it can fall under this suspicious activity report. There's also people that, for a variety of reasons, are basically blackballed from having a bank account.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you wound up when you were 17 years old overdrafting on a bank account that you had, racked up a bunch of overdraft fees because...
I think it's called an SDNL list, a specially designated nationals list.
Right. But things like that can deny people to do that. So to me, it's resistance to censorship, resistance to other people telling you how you can spend your money.
Also a way that you can wind up having a little more control over how you spend money with other people that aren't in your physical proximity.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned people that were unable to get a bank account. Do you know if that applies to credit unions or no?
Those are non-depository institutions.
Heather's our most recent banking expert.
Yeah.
No, but there are a lot of even credit unions will still use that same. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Heather will know. But there is a centralized reporting agency.
Checklist, I believe, is the name of it.
Could be something like that.
Or checks.
Checks. Yeah. But if you go to open a bank account, you may be blackballed for some reason, and that's one example. The other example that doesn't obviously belong to you, you live in a populated area, but there are millions and millions, probably billions of people in the world that don't have access to a bank, period.
Right.
Well, I have to step in there. If they don't have access to a bank, what makes you think they're going to have access to internet to use Bitcoin?
Because that's becoming more prevalent than people building bank branches. So we'll talk about sub-Saharan Africa and things like that.
There are companies like Google and, as horrible as they are, Facebook, that are doing internet to remote parts of the world. There are developers working on things to where people can use Bitcoin through SMS instead of needing to have a smartphone and download an app.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, and we say Bitcoin over and over and over, but Bitcoin's by no means the only one. And
It's the prevalent one.
It is. I think it's also it's a real stretch to sit there and say, Bitcoin is going to be the absolute best solution for problem X in 5 years.
I think Bitcoin is just the standard amongst most people. It's like comparing, Federal Reserve notes to the currency that Bernard von Nothaus put together. It's obvious which one is considered the true standard. But that brings up another point. If cryptocurrencies become such a big thing and become extremely popular, who's to say the Federal Reserve won't just try to come up with their own? If it becomes the standard form of currency in the future, which I'm sure eventually it will.
That they might, but the thing is, they can come up with their, virtual currency, but there's no way that they can force you to use their virtual currency.
Well, what if they try to implement laws around cryptocurrency? Do you see that happening? Are there any countries around?
There are laws that prohibit people from using cannabis, but millions of people still do it.
There was a guy that was just given 40 months in jail because he didn't have the proper licensing for running a business that accepted Bitcoin.
That's all well and good, but the question really is a technical question to me. Can government shut it down?
No.
And that becomes very hard. So you see places like, communist China, which has taken some strides against exchanges and things like that. They have total control over the internet within their borders, but it doesn't stop people around the globe from continuing to use them. And as time goes by, the Chinese are going to find out, they have the what they call the Great Firewall, which is supposed to restrict all access. Chinese activists are going to find holes in that. And they're going to figure out ways to exploit it.
And they keep finding holes in that. Right. And, they keep using Bitcoin. And, governments are going to try to prohibit a lot of things, but people, by and large, are going to be diligent enough to find ways around government prohibitions or just wind up, just facing the jail time.
Yeah, and it is inevitable that central banks will issue their own cryptocurrencies, and there's a couple.
I've read a report that Russia is
the crypto ruble.
Yeah,
they're
the
talking
crypto
about that
ruble
right
is supposed to be launched sometime fairly soon, I believe.
Yeah, so there will be a state-run cryptocurrency. The question will be is what will the policies be around it? Will it truly be decentralized? And the answer to those is probably not. It can be on a blockchain technology like Bitcoin, and it could still run on 10 servers run by the central bank of Russia. And, while that's technically a cryptocurrency, they're entering a market where there are lots of cryptocurrencies that offer better ways to do various things. And I'm going to quit saying cryptocurrency because I think crypto asset is a more appropriate term.
And based on how you define the term virtual currency, since the Federal Reserve can just, with a couple strokes on a computer, inflate or deflate the currency on a whim, technically the U.S. dollar is a virtual currency, as most of it resides as ones and zeros in computers.
True.
Stefan, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts on cryptocurrencies, drones, cryptocurrencies that run on a blockchain? This is Free Talk Live.
Book Club Radio.
Today we're chatting with Mike Papantonio, leading trial lawyer and prolific author. His latest novel, Law and Vengeance, is a non-stop, action-packed legal thriller. We spoke with him about the book and the real-life issues that inform and inspire his writing.
So what happened with Law and Vengeance was we had a case that came in that we actually handled for a couple of years, where we had a weapons manufacturer that had created a defective gun sight. But they sold a ton of them to the military and to police organizations all over the country. There is a good side and a bad side where it comes to the way that corporate America operates, and that somewhere in there we have regulators and we have government entities that are making sure they play by the rules, but most of the time they aren't playing by the rules, and we don't have the Department of Justice forcing them to play by the rules.
On the heels of the critically acclaimed legal thriller Law and Disorder comes Law and Vengeance, the latest novel from famed trial attorney Mike Papantonio. Law and Vengeance follows the law firm of Bergman Dichotomus, who is now in the crosshairs of a weapons manufacturer. But this is not a law firm that plays by all the rules. Based on a real case, Law and Vengeance, the riveting new legal thriller by Mike Papantonio, is available wherever books are sold.
Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. Just visit pool.bitcoin.com and use their calculator to estimate what you could end up making. You get to decide which Bitcoin you want to mine. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. Get all the details and get started mining Bitcoin at pool.bitcoin.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That's 855-450-3733. We'll get to the phones in just a second, but want to tell you about a way that you can get a home security system delivered to your front door. It's the Blink Home Security System. Get it delivered to your door. You download an app on your phone, and it walks you through the easy setup. Even with a complicated router system, you should be able to get it set up in about 10 to 15 minutes. And the app will notify you whenever anything moves in front of the wireless camera, or you can just check the cam from your phone whenever you want to. And we have a deal for you. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge for 1. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, as in Free Talk Live. Blinkprotect.com/FTL. All one word, blinkprotect.com/FTL. Let's go to the phones where we've got somebody listed here. Says Jeff is a former nationalist. Jeff, you're on Free Talk Live with Darryl, Heather, and Chris. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Oh, hello. Yeah, I actually called in a few months ago, I think, and I was talking about, like, the Holocaust and stuff like that. But then since that day, I've really been thinking about how saying stuff like that makes people think of me. And from that point, I started to think more logically. And
All right.
I had all these critiques of the non-aggression principle and stuff like that. But then eventually what I came to realize is that the non-aggression principle is logical. And furthermore, it's when someone speaks it, it's a compulsion from that point that we need to follow it. And this has made me basically re-examine all of my worldviews that existed. So, and from there, I've actually started coming up with some strategies that I think libertarians would need to use to gain some power in this world and see the dissolution of massive government, Leviathan-style beast government. So, yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about, if you wanted to go further in detail with that.
Yeah, what can the Libertarian Party do to get more power?
I don't want more power.
Most libertarians don't want power.
Yeah,
they want to get rid of power.
Huh?
Well, yes, but the thing is, to get rid of that power, you need to gain some level of power first.
It's like Frodo. You have to take the ring of power in order to get rid of the ring of power.
You totally do, man. In order to fight an alpha wolf, you got to be as tough as the alpha wolf. You got to match power for power. And you know what? That's the truth of the matter that a lot of libertarians don't take into consideration. They think, we can just win by yelling in megaphones on a soapbox. Like, that's not going to do anything.
Sometimes you can win by having a superior ideas.
The opposite of...
If you're willing to defend those ideas...
Hold on. The opposite of take power isn't yell into a megaphone.
No, I'm not saying that, Darryl.
but
I'm saying that you do, in some degree, like we are in a fight for freedom, a fight for our ideas, and like with that, right? You can have an idea, but if you're not willing to defend it, right? Then you're weak and you're vulnerable. It's like I have my child. If I'm not willing to defend my child and fight for my child, guess what? She's a sitting duck.
Right, but you're never gonna spread your ideas through the use of force or through pounding them into people's head. You can expose ideas to people. You can try to convince them of the virtue of your ideas and things like that.
Gandhi never took up arms against the British and arguably was more successful in his revolution than the American Revolution was.
Yeah,
I think the non-aggression principle, too many people that preach it, like, it's almost like, how would you protect your own kids? Like, if somebody came and, like, hurt their kid, they'd stand there and watch because they wouldn't want to touch anybody. Like, that's how I feel the majority of people that preach the non-aggression principle come off to me. Like, they make you feel like you're, like, less than a human if you fight to defend a victim or something that you see on the street. Like, nobody's allowed to touch anybody. Like, no, you know what? I'll do what I'm going to do.
You're arguing against pacifism, not aggression. Not aggression is you do not initiate force. You are fully within your rights to defend yourself.
Well,
right. And if somebody says, help me, you can defend that person.
But that's the
thing.
thing.
If you just walk up on something and you see somebody punching somebody in the face, you don't know who was the aggressor there. Maybe the guy that's doing the punching was the person that got jumped from behind.
In which case, you can break it up.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
Well, fellas, if I can interject here for a second. I know I've started an interesting conversation here, but I think I've been misunderstood a little, because what I'm talking about is not getting government power to relax government power, essentially. What I'm talking about is things that we can do to promote a libertarian society without that.
All right, so go ahead. How can we promote a libertarian society?
One of the main strategies that I had cooked up is essentially that we need to get as many immigrants and things like that into the country as possible. And if we do that, we also need to promote hyper welfare programs. So once we get all these immigrants into the country and we have these hyper welfare programs, what is going to happen is eventually the class of parasites is going to become so large that the system of the productive cannot sustain itself, and society will collapse eventually.
So why would you want to collapse society?
We'll have a Somalia-type scenario.
Why would you want to collapse society?
This isn't really a new idea.
That's a horrible idea.
No, it's not a new one. A lot of people have always said...
Have you been reading on Venezuela?
Yes.
They're collapsing over there. Is that what you want to see?
Well, I would like to see a situation somewhat like Venezuela.
Then go move there.
10 times worse than that.
Then go move there.
What we need to do is create a situation.
Go move there. You're calling into the show, and you're all comfortable and safe right now, and you can go. No, that's a terrible idea. I'm sorry. Like that's like you have no gratitude, and this
gratitude.
Right now, yes, gratitude. Because you know what? Half the people complaining about our
hold
government
on.
in America,
One person at a time.
like, oh God, man, I'm really like taking the muzzle off, man. Like I've been holding in so many thoughts over the last couple of weeks, and like, you know what? There are so many people in this country that complain about our government, right? Look at the flag people, right? The kneeling, this, that, and the other thing. Like, we're lucky we're not thrown in jail for choosing whether to stand or kneel. There's so many benefits of living in this country as opposed to other countries, but yet you still have people where it's like, it's not good enough. It's never good. You could give them all the freedom in the world, and I'm convinced some of these liberty lovers would still not be happy. They are just nag and they complain.
Count me in.
And you know what? Like
I'm one of those.
You know, I don't even mind paying taxes. I just don't want to pay a lot. I would pay taxes. I'd pay a little bit of taxes to go to like run an efficient little town and community and like, you know, contribute to like a potluck type thing. Ever been to a potluck dinner? It's voluntary, whatever.
We do them all the time in my town.
I'm totally on board with that. We should be paying as many taxes as we can right now to immigrants so that the system collapses in on itself.
That's
the
a bad
concept.
idea.
I think we're being trolled.
I think we are as well, but the concept of, you know, bleed the system dry, that idea has been around for a long time. The system's not just going to wind up bleeding dry because you know why? Federal Reserve is just going to wind up inflating the currency.
No, what we need to do is we need to overhaul and get rid of the people that are raising taxes, okay? It's a lot easier than bringing in millions of other people. Let's
Jeff,
just take a handful and get rid of them.
Your calls. Your calls and thoughts welcome.
Trump never drained the swamp.
450 free. That's 855-450-3733. Can we just vote the bums out? Is that possible? We've been trying it for 200 years.
They keep coming up with new bums.
Advertising your business with GCN is simple, effective, and more affordable than you might think. Visit advertise.gcnlive.com for more info. Take your business to the next level. That's advertise.gcnlive.com.
ProPure water filters. Most trusted, most tested. Right now, you can save 25% on the ProPure Nomad Gravity System. Visit an authorized ProPure dealer for details. That's PROPUR.
With nearly 70 years of history engineering bunkers, today, Atlas Survival Shelters is still the authority. Atlas offers 18 different choices, from commercial tornado shelters to underground nuclear fallout shelters, starting at just $99.99 with 100% financing available, comfortable interiors, and state-of-the-art air filtration systems. Atlas Survival Shelters are the most popular private survival shelters in the world. Call 1-855-4BUNKER now or visit atlassurvivalshelters.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com. Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can call in and join us. The us in studio tonight is Darryl,
Heather,
and Chris.
And let's pretend for a second that you're not one of the radio listeners, that you're one of the tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of people that listen to the podcast version of this radio show.
Wonder where you're going with
and let's say that you're one of the people that really, really likes the show, but you've not yet left us a rating and a review on the iTunes or the Stitcher. Could you do that for us? We would really appreciate it, and it would help other people find the show, because the way the various things work is the higher the reviews and the ratings, the higher up in search results it shows, and then the more chance that other people wind up finding the show. So if you've not yet left a review or a rating on iTunes or Stitcher or any of the other podcast aggregation things, and I'm sure there's probably others, those are the two biggies that people wind up using. Leave us a rating, leave us a review. We definitely would appreciate it. Now, Chris, we teased a story out of Los Angeles.
We did.
Where apparently the Los Angeles Police Department said, we want some drones. And the people that live in Los Angeles, by and large, said, we don't want you having drones. But then the city council apparently just ignored the will of the people.
Well, yeah.
As often happens. So tell us what happened here.
Yes, over activist objections, the Los Angeles Board of Police Commissioners approved the police department's pilot drone program. And this comes to us from patch.com, Los Angeles. The civilian panel that oversees the Los Angeles Police Department approved a drone program Tuesday, several months after the department first presented what it called a, quote, limited plan to use the technology.
Limited to how many drones?
Oh, we'll get into the details. Just as long as
limited to we're going to fly drones 24 hours a day, 7 days a week over every major intersection.
Limited as in, maybe Johnson saying we're going to have a limited involvement in Vietnam. So just quit worrying.
Also, we're going to draft people to fly their personal drones.
Just quiet, Darryl. It's the police. It's not like they're going to lie to you, all right?
They're allowed to lie to you. The courts have
here's
wound
another
up.
thing I've been thinking about. The police and government in general, it's almost like being they're honest, right? Like, what they're going to do. What they're going to enforce. It's kind of like being a transparent.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Okay, so maybe
honest?
they don't. Okay, but you know what the
We
nature
know that they're
of
going
them-
to enforce the drug
that
war.
yes, you know that they're going to enforce laws that politicians pass. Like you
right,
know
but they'll
that.
call things like the Patriot Act, and they'll call it the U.S. Freedom Act, when these things are the opposite of it.
All right, that
so
I don't
know.
agree with. I think that they could be a little more precise on what it is.
No, I'm
you
going
know?
to say that they flat out lie. They frequently pass things. I could give me time, I could give you 100 examples of laws that were passed for one reason when we find out that the actual reason they were doing something is something honest. If you want to say the government is consistent in their dishonesty, I will agree with you to the point that it becomes laughably predictable.
The government is a group of people, though. You got to hold the inconsistent ones accountable.
That'd be most of them, though.
That's
That's
what
the
I'm
problem.
saying is that it's because it's government. You have faces. We have faces and we have names, and we can hold individual people accountable.
No,
when
you
we
can't.
start
In theory,
making blanket judgments,
You can't. You cannot.
when we just say, "Oh, okay, government."
No, I'll give you an example. The EPA, somebody within the EPA, because we can't find out exactly who, comes up with a new reason that we can control flow of water on private property. Now, all you know is that a news article came out that says the EPA now says that if you have any water on your property, we consider it a potential wetland. Therefore, the U.S. federal government has control over it.
Hold on,
and I'm
Chris.
paraphrasing.
It's only a wetland if that water flows into something that flows into something that goes into the ocean, and then it's a navigable wetland.
Right. So this happened. There was no law passed that said make this happen. There was just a law saying Congress gives the EPA their right to do pretty much whatever they want.
Yeah, they
and
can
then
make policy.
Bureaucrats come up with the actual regulations, and I have no recourse. My only recourse is to try to convince all of Congress, not just my representative, but I have to convince them all that this is such a bad idea that they have to take an almost unheard of step in passing a law that would actually restrict a executive branch agency from doing insane things.
And
they
I've
never
heard-
do. Don't tell me I have recourse. Don't tell me that they are people with faces that I can identify and find them and hold them accountable.
I've
because
heard, Chris,
no one can.
I've heard that the EPA building in D.C. leaves lights on all the time. We just need to figure out who is the janitor that's supposed to turn the light switches off.
I bet you couldn't even find that out. You have to you have to go to the Department of Energy for that. But that's my point, Heather. It sounds easy. It sounds like, and that's what we were founded on, the idea that we could hold government accountable. The reality is, after 200 plus odd years of this experiment, we can't.
And then they wind up, various legislative bodies wind up passing various immunities for government bureaucrats. You've got courts that wind up making rulings saying that, well, we interpret this to mean that they have this other immunity. I filed a lawsuit when there was an illegal raid on where I was living a few years ago, filed a lawsuit seeking an apology from the code enforcer and the fire chief for waking me up 3 hours after I went to bed because I worked a late second shift. And the judge wound up throwing it out, saying that I had not stated a claim upon which relief might be granted. And the city wound up citing 4 different types of immunity for why they didn't need to apologize.
And I want to talk about checks and balances.
Yeah, and okay,
go
so
ahead.
I just feel like I've heard a lot, having been involved in politics now for a few years, I've gone to a movement or I could say echo chamber where there are a lot of people that claim the government is the problem. And what I fail to see, though, yes, you guys, I totally bought into it for a little bit, but I'm one of those people that every so often I self-reflect and I criticize my own set of beliefs. I try to stay as humble as possible, and if I hold an incorrect position, change it. But, why does government come to exist in the first place? So everyone that says, oh, government's the problem and freedom is so much better, if that's the case and freedom and liberty is in everybody's best interest, why doesn't it just happen?
Because most people prefer to not have to make their own decisions.
Or you've got the people that they want freedom for themselves,
but not for others.
Well, I can't trust that my neighbor's not going to do something horrible, so we have to wind up implementing this law and that law and this other law.
But is that their intent with it? Or is it people are going into it saying, you know what, like I'm willing to be a part of this country and pay taxes to this government and, fight with my voice through lobbying, through voting, and all this other stuff to shift the outcome.
The vast majority of people, this is the God's honest truth. In my honest belief, is most people are going to go through their lives not thinking for 2 seconds about 99% of what we talk about on this show. They don't care. They have drones in Los Angeles. This article we're just talking about.
All right,
oh,
let me
cool.
ask you
My
this.
kid has one.
Let me ask
That's
you
as
this
much
then.
as they're going to think about it.
Here's another one. The military, right? I was thinking about this recently. The military. If the military, and I grew up in a military family. My father was in the military.
I served.
So if we have a standing army, right, a military, we have all of their families are here in America and they go overseas. Let's say we've heard about blowback and stuff on this radio. We've talked about that, like what foreign policy causes blowback and stuff. Then isn't it in our military's best interest, right? We educate them with these ideas. We could still have a military, but educate them with these ideas that say, this is what's in America's best interest is not to have this aggressive foreign policy. We can still have them as a line of defense.
That's a role of politicians, not of the military. We can continue this discussion if you like.
Okay.
And your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, should the cops have drones?
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown. But these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. $39.95 plus shipping and handling. Use discount code GCN and receive 15% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter and get your Bug Assault today.
Chad here, owner of Infidel Body Armor. With the shooting in Vegas, there will be calls to ban guns and body armor. You can expect prices to rise dramatically in the coming weeks as gun grabbers try to outlaw your freedom. If you don't have your armor kit yet, you're behind the curve. Don't miss your window of opportunity. Go to infidelbodyarmor.com and click on Specials. That's infidelbodyarmor.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And have you ever wanted to start your own blog or website, but you've not been able to put that idea into action? Well, you're in luck. HostGator, one of the top hosting companies out there, is offering a special deal to Free Talk Live listeners. Go to HostGator.com/FTL, and you can get up to 50% off their regular prices. Now, the discount that you get depends on how long of a period you register for that first initial term. So the longer you register, the bigger the savings. Hosting your own website or blog can be intimidating, but HostGator does make it easy. They offer a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress. They have 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week, over-the-phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive and user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation and the simplicity of use into the hands of you, the customer. Plus, HostGator has a 99.99% uptime rating, so you don't have to worry about outages. To get that special offer of up to 50% off just for Free Talk Live listeners, visit HostGator.com/FTL. That's HostGator.com/FTL. Let's go to the phones. We've got somebody calling themselves Lumpy, calling in, watching on YouTube.
Nice.
Lumpy, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Great show tonight, as always. I've not heard Heather a whole lot on the show, and Heather, I'd love to be in the position where you are and believe that the efficacy of the state has, it seems to me, and forgive me and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to have reached you that you believe that we actually have some process. There are that works for us, that protects our freedoms and liberties. I think that is a grand illusion. If people knew, I've had my property stolen from me south of the wall down here in Massachusetts for a supposed fraudulent transfer. Jay Noon had helped me a while back try and do some things, but I couldn't pursue it.
Jay Noon being an occasional co-host on Free Talk Live.
Yes, that's right, and a hero, as well as an awesome, amazing human. So they for a supposed fraudulent transfer, 4 owners before I owned the property. And if you went to find out what really happened, they actually caused a problem on a separate piece of property out in near where Jay lived out in Palmer, Mass, where the EPA came in and supposedly cleaned up. They created a bill. There were a bunch of tires there and everything. Anyway, I could go on that. One of the things I often like to talk about is I didn't even know this, but I also was in the military. I spent 8 years in the Navy, and a part of that phony drug war. We were down in Colombia, and I'll share this till the day I die because I didn't know what was really going on when I was in. But when I was down there, we were chasing the go fast, like you see on TV and all that baloney.
Right.
And we knew we had pictures we knew the boats were loaded with coke. So I found out later on as I was getting out, I was visiting some guys who were getting out that were SEALs and up in a military hospital. I think it was Balboa. I'm not sure, out in San Diego. Anyway, these guys would tell me what they were doing when we were doing what's called counter-drug operations or counter-drug interdiction,
right.
Joint task forces. We knew we had to call either, we were out in the middle of the ocean, chasing these boats, right? They had a whole network set up, fuel and everything.
Right.
We had pictures. We knew they had the coke on these boats. What I found out is from these guys that were retiring that were SEALs, they had gone down there, and these guys were alcoholics and drug addicts, and because probably of what was going on, they were going through the VA, through the hospital and trying to get their head right because of the damage and the things that they had saw, thinking they were heroes. They had told me I assumed that the people were CIA. I really don't know, but we had to call a list of 5 people, 3 of whom which were either senators or congressmen, and 2 of whom which were either senators or congressmen, to find out if we could board. They were on we called the board list. Find out if we could board these
Did the
boats.
call go something like, Senator, I need to board this boat. Is any of your cocaine on it?
Basically, I would have guessed that. I don't know. I wasn't
Right.
part of that, but I found this out afterwards, right? And there were big busts and everything once in a while, and we took pictures on the flight decks of all this coke we got. My guess is it was cocaine that was. So, but they told me what happened is there was some families were promised land down in Colombia. Okay, land is hard to get, I guess, down there in Colombia. So they said, you're going to have this farm if you make X amount of cocaine, right? So, and great, I'm going to have the FBI knocking on my door again, probably again. Time now for saying this. I really don't care. I don't talk to them. When they come to the door, I answer the door in Barry Cooper fashion. I say, we don't answer the door for the police. So they'll probably do something else we should tell them about this. But
Barry Cooper being former cop that wound up, going good and making a video called "Never Get Busted."
Yep. He's quite a hero. Quite a story that he has, and something to lives through all this stuff. But anyway, I assume these guys were CIA operatives so they promised this farm they make X amount of cocaine. So what they do is people say, oh my gosh, we have to make X amount of cocaine. Can we do this? So they get their family to come in, and that's their great grandmothers all the way down to babies, and they're very family oriented, maybe a patriarchal Catholic type society down there for the most part. And they have these very tight families, and they're armed. Guns are very common down there. And but what happens is they get called drug terrorists when they're done, when they're done making their X amount of cocaine. And then we send in the Navy SEALs and the Airborne Rangers to make sure there's no witnesses left. And I don't want to even repeat because I feel I get shaky when I start to repeat what happened. All that stuff you see on TV about none of it's real. I mean, what really happens down there, and this is all your tax dollars. This is what you support when you support the system.
You're paying for it.
It doesn't matter. Like Darryl just a few minutes ago, they're going to continue to pay for this stuff forever. They're going to print, they're going to either print money or just add zeros on a computer anymore and charge it.
Or just keep going into debt.
Yeah, it's people talk about the bank of perpetuity or something like that, but it's perpetual debt. I would love to live in the world you live in, Heather.
What do you mean? Is it like? What do you mean? Like nobody technically has to pay taxes.
That we have some kind of process. That we have some kind of due process. My land was stolen from me. My entire life was stolen from me.
Hey, I've been a victim of government before, like several times. Okay, like
I'm sorry. We all are.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to turn around and assume that there's no.
No, what it means.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to make blanket judgments. I'm going to say, you know what? I was arrested by a cop that tried to break my arm when I was 17, and
were you able to hold him accountable?
Right. Number one. Number two, how do you feel about the fact that your tax dollars go towards breaking other girls' arms?
What do you mean?
I mean, literally, there is some cop somewhere in the United States that's going to do something that may be accidental, but an arm's going to get broken on some girl, and taxpayers are going to pay for it.
But you know what? Even if like I would pay to fund. I agree that there's some problems as far as accountability and holding bad cops accountable.
I don't believe you.
I would pay for protection.
If you were to say you were to pay, then pay voluntarily. Do something.
I will.
Like that.
And I don't. That's what I'm saying. Is right now I consent to some money being taken out of my paycheck to fund things like police departments and fire departments to do certain things. I don't consent to the other part of it, and that's why I do what I do, and I vocalize my opinion and I speak out against what I don't agree with.
But you do
But
fund.
to lump it all together and be
No.
like, oh, we don't need cops, we don't need this, we don't need government.
No, I
The
don't
government,
need cops. I
excuse
have
me, the
zero
government
use
lumps
for
it all
police.
together.
Absolutely zero.
The government uses that same tax dollar to bomb weddings. Your tax dollars also kill babies.
Lumpy, continue with your
people
thought.
that
Lumpy, continue with your thought.
Oh, I just say you can't imagine the stuff that when they talk about bombing weddings, the stuff that goes down in Colombia. There are no witnesses left to tell you the story about this. There's none, and I'm talking about children, women raped, and I mean raped not like the Me Too type stuff. This is the war stuff. This is the stuff you see and that you can't imagine. We weren't heroes. We were told
but
we were.
rapists are rapists. Just because someone works for the state doesn't mean they're like some evil satanic rapist.
How about when they're paid for by the federal government?
Oh my God. They're still a rapist. Whether you pay them privately or publicly, they're still a rapist. It has nothing to do with how they're funded. It means they're a sick human being, period.
Yeah. Lumpy, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
How did you become addicted? A friend? Were you at a party and someone said, hey, try this? Then you got the cold sweats and started shaking. And the more you did it, the more it didn't work. So you switched to the needle. Now you're a train wreck. Drinking, drugging, broke. Your family hates you, and you hate you. Get out of your hell on earth now. Call the Detox and Treatment Helpline today for immediate help. In many cases, your insurance may cover the costs. We can't guarantee it, but we can guarantee we have what you need to change your life for the better. Pick up your cell phone and call right now. 855-700-2979. 855-700-2979. 855-700-2979. That's 855-700-2979.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, October 19th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.94 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,278 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.5 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $5,594. Antiwar.com reports the spokesman for the Catalonia government has ruled out any move to renounce last week's Declaration of Independence, saying that their answer will be no different on Thursday, the latest in a series of deadlines imposed by Spain to abandon the declaration. Catalan spokesman Jordi Turull added, "Giving in forms no part of this government's scenarios." Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy has threatened to seize the entire Catalonia region outright over the declaration and place it under direct rule of Spain. Catalonia has a long history of autonomy, and in addition to threatening to revoke that, Spanish officials have threatened to charge a number of top Catalan regional officials with sedition or other charges related to supporting secession. Catalan President Carles Puigdemont signed the Declaration of Independence despite threats of arrest, but immediately suspended the declaration. He has since said that the plan for the next 2 months is to try to negotiate with Spain. Those Spanish officials have ruled out any talks unless Catalonia
Catalonia scraps the plan. Demonstrators have continued to rally in Barcelona in favor of independence, and those rallies were out in force again on Wednesday after the latest detention of secessionists.
For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper reached a settlement with the American Civil Liberties Union on Wednesday to allow transgender individuals to use the public restroom that corresponds to their gender identity. The settlement comes as a result of a lawsuit filed by the ACLU against the state of North Carolina for a state law commonly referred to as the bathroom bill that restricted transgendered people from using the bathroom of their choice. The settlement will now go to a judge for final approval. As part of the pending settlement, Cooper signed an executive consent decree that says transgender individuals are not prevented from using the public facilities in accordance with their gender identity. Cooper wrote a blog post that says this executive order will make North Carolina a more welcoming place. It prohibits discrimination in state government, in my office, and the cabinet agencies on the grounds of race, color, ethnicity, sex, National Guard, or veteran status, sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression, and it requires those doing business with the state through our contracting process to do the same. Critics of the bathroom bill said it legalized discrimination of transgender individuals, leading to protest and boycotts of the state. Karen Anderson, executive director of the ACLU of North Carolina, said the bathroom bill is a shameful and discriminatory attack on transgender individuals, but under this proposed consent decree, North Carolina will finally affirm the rights of transgender people to use the facilities that match their gender.
Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Antiwar.com reports large amounts of territory seized by the Kurdish Peshmerga over the course of multiple years of war with the Islamic State have been ceded back to the Iraqi central government in only about 72 hours. Iraqi officials now say that the Peshmerga is back to its June 2014 borders, the start of the conflict against the Islamic State. Iraq's fast military offensive, bolstered by Shiite militias, saw them seize the oil-rich city of Kirkuk on Monday, expanding into Sinjar and Kanakwin on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, Iraqi forces took territory near Mosul. The Kurdistan regional government had previously indicated they intended to keep all of the territory as part of theirs, and this was particularly important in Kirkuk, which the Kurds have historical claims to. Secessionist ambitions, however, convinced Iraq they needed to push the Peshmerga out of the territory, and despite the Kurdish paramilitary force having a lot of U.S.-provided arms, they don't appear to have been willing to directly contest the offensive, at least not so far. Iraqi officials have not said if they intend to push deeper into Iraqi Kurdistan. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
North, an extremely vocal opponent of gay marriage, drew fire during his 2010 re-election campaign for saying that the legalization of gay marriage would lead to man-horse marriages. In one instance, he told the New Haven Register, quote, "It's a slippery slope. If we allow two men to marry, what's next? Men marrying horses?" But yesterday, North found himself at the center of a media firestorm when the New York Times published photos of North on what appears to be romantic outings with a horse. Gathered during the Times' 2-month investigation, the pictures show North in almost a dozen locations with the same 3-year-old mare. A former aide discovered links to numerous horse-related sites, including phillyfreaks.com and hothindquarters.com on North's work computer. The Times is accusing North of using federal funds to pay for luxurious trips, including a 3-night stay at the high-end Sueños stables in Catalonia, Spain last month. North released a statement yesterday claiming he only spent time with the horse twice while conducting research for his anti-gay marriage project.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Kicking off our number 3 in studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And Chris, let's get back into the LAPD story.
Sure.
About the drones that the LAPD said, we want these. And the people in LA said, we don't want you to have them. And the city council wound up just ignoring the will of the people. And what happened?
Sure. So as we said before, the civilian panel that oversees Los Angeles Police Department approved a drone program Tuesday, several months after the department first presented what it called a limited plan to use the technology. Approval of the program by the Los Angeles Board of Police Commissioners came despite oppositions from activists who considered the technology a threat to civil liberties, and after only 6% of the 1,675 emails the LAPD received about the program expressed support for it.
So let me rephrase this a little bit. The LAPD said, we want some drones and give us some feedback. Yep. And they wound up getting 1,675 emails, undisclosed number of telephone calls, undisclosed number of handwritten letters, carrier pigeons, postcards, etc. And of the emails, 94% of the people that sent an email said no. 6% said, yeah, we're cool with that. And the Board of Commissioners said, all right, the people have spoken, and LAPD, here's your drone.
Commissioner Cynthia McLean-Hill voted against the program, while Commission President Steve Soboroff, Vice President Matthew Johnson, and Commissioner Sandra Figueroa Villa voted for it. Commissioner Shane Murphy-Goldsmith was not present for the vote. The panel's vote prompted an outcry from opponents, some of whom marched outside the LAPD headquarters and into the intersection of 1st and Main Streets, blocking traffic. Police declared the gathering as unlawful assembly, ordering the groups out of the street.
Now, this term unlawful assembly, there was a meeting, meet and greet, former chair from like 30 years ago of the Libertarian National Party happened to have been visiting Keene, and a bunch of people went out, had lunch with him, and he was talking about a video he saw from several years ago in Manchester, to where Dave Ridley, who called into the show earlier in the day, was being questioned about something by some police, and because, somebody's being questioned by the cops. What's going on here? People stopped on the sidewalk, and then like his supervisor showed up. You're only allowed to have 3 people together. Otherwise, it's an unlawful assembly. Now, you can have an unlimited group of 3 people. So you can have 3 people here and then, several feet away, 3 people, but unlawful assembly. So what exactly do they mean here by unlawful? Was it just 4 people? That they're told you can't stand on the sidewalk, go stand there, and because they were standing, like where a car could be parked,
I don't know, Darryl, but whatever they did in Los Angeles it must have been constitutional, and it must have been somehow fit in with the phrase, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. I'm sure whatever they did somehow jived with that statement.
But the next sentence here doesn't necessarily make it sound that way.
Right. The panel's vote for an outcome. Let's see. Blocking traffic. Police declared the gathering an unlawful assembly, ordered the group out of the street. Several protesters were seen being handcuffed and led away by police, although it was unclear if they were only being detained to move them out of the street or if they would be arrested. The commission held a meeting 2 weeks ago when it approved guidelines for the 1-year drone pilot program. The guidelines...
so it's only a 1-year program.
Limited.
It's going to go away in 364 days, right?
Yeah, it's a limited land war in Southeast Asia. Nothing to worry about. The guidelines were then posted on the department's website for 2 weeks to get more public feedback before the final vote. The commission first heard a presentation on the guidelines in August, and the department held 4 public meetings to get feedback. And this is typical of most areas. You know, when the government does something unpopular, even if they do something popular, it's generally policy to hold some sort of public forum or some method for you to voice your support or your displeasure with it. And, you know, we've seen that here in New Hampshire. I've seen it everywhere I've lived. And this is not the first time I've heard of support for something being overwhelmingly small and opposition great to a given program, and not seeing the government do whatever the heck they wanted to in the first place.
In New Hampshire, the city of about 20,000 people that we're broadcasting from, about 6 years ago, I think it was, FEMA decided, you know what, we're going to offer a grant for a ballistic engineered armored response counterattack truck for Keene, New Hampshire. And people wound up saying, we don't want this. There was petitions signed by hundreds of people. And at the public hearing that they did allow public comment to, the fire marshal wound up saying, this room's at capacity. The only way anybody else enters is when somebody leaves. And so there were people lined up in the hallway waiting on somebody to leave so that they could go in. And very few people spoke in favor. And the city council overwhelmingly approved the grant for the Bearcat. And then there was a motion to reconsider. And again, you know, very few people spoke in favor. And city council again overwhelmingly supported taking this armored response counterattack truck.
Because, quote, we're going to have our own tank.
Yeah, the current mayor said that when he was a city councilor. And now he says it's not a tank because it doesn't have tracks.
Ooh, well, big distinction there.
And they also listed, interestingly enough, they claimed that they needed this ballistic engineered armored response counterattack truck because at the time we had the Festival of Pumpkins. And, well, people that have listened to this show for a while know that about 4 years ago there was a riot at Pumpkin Fest, and they never actually sent the Bearcat to the riots. Nah. Despite having in the application, we need this because of Pumpkin Fest.
Well, they had it ready to go. They just didn't feel they needed to pull it out. It's kind of crazy. So approval of a drone program, or unmanned aerial system, as the department calls it, comes after the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Civilian Oversight Commission recently voted 5-4 to call for a grounding of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department's drone program, although Sheriff Jim McDonnell said the program would continue. According to the guidelines the police commission approved, drones could be used in a limited capacity, including high-risk tactical operations. So all these are kind of vague. Barricaded armed suspect responses, hostage rescues in situations involving a threat of exposure to hazardous materials, and the need to detect explosive devices. I could see the police using every one of those examples as a reason why we must serve a warrant to search for drugs.
Yeah.
I could see them using this, saying, well, yeah, when we knock down, we're going to do a no-knock raid on this house, so we consider it a high-risk tactical operation. This no-knock raid is likely to have people that may be armed. We don't know they are, but they could be. Therefore, they are barricaded inside a home, so we need it for that. So there may be civilians there, so we're going to say it's a hostage rescue too.
Right. So I've got some thoughts running through my mind of how exactly are the drones going to help in these situations? Are they going to hover the drone outside of a window?
No, I can tell you
that. Are
they
just going to hover it
for a fact,
high in the
drones,
air?
what they do, like a lot of these drones, some of them are equipped with technology that actually has like infrared technology that can like see through buildings and stuff and tell you how many bodies are inside a certain building
or
and
clothing.
You know, like where they are in the building or whatever before. This is what the military uses before they raid buildings overseas.
Sure.
So they have the drones fly above these buildings before they're raided, and then they know when they go in, like to the left there'll be 2 people standing there, or to the right there'll be, you know, upstairs to the left there's 4 people, etc.
And everybody suspected members of Al-Qaeda, or is it ISIS now? Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450 free.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. You like your friends, and you like LRN.FM, or you wouldn't be listening. So like your friends enough to share something you like with them. Please share that you're listening to LRN.FM on your favorite social networking site.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are 2 Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try at dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
If you're looking for work, you know the math. There are many more applicants than openings, so you need to stand out, not blend into the blah, blah, blah your interviewer is hearing from your competition. Here's a tip. In your interview, you will be judged more by the questions you ask than the answers you give. Yes, do anticipate the obvious job interview questions and prepare concise, insightful, glass-half-full sounding responses. And you should interview your interviewer. Seem genuinely curious about what will help get results. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. You want to cut through the clutter. For more tips for job seekers and making all the other conversations you have more productive, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we had a caller call in earlier asking, what are some of the benefits of cryptocurrencies? Well, I'll tell you one of them. You can save up to 33% on things that you're going to buy anyway. I actually wound up getting the last of 3 items in the mail today that I saved 25% on. by using saveatpurse.com.
And save from where?
Saveatpurse.com. These are things that you find on Amazon. You put them in an Amazon wish list. You then import the wish list to saveatpurse.com. And again, you can save 5% instantly. You want to get a little bit bigger of a discount, you might have to wait a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days. This, again, I saved 25%, got some health food things that go in my smoothie. The final item that came in the mail today was spirulina, which is
Gesundheit.
No, spirulina. It's
Gesundheit.
From an algae. It's like an algae powder thing. It turns the smoothie green, and it's got like all the amino acids that you need.
Sounds delicious, Darryl.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
It
I'll
is.
take your word
I need
for
to
it.
make you a smoothie sometime. Come over Saturday morning. I'll make you a
Don't trouble
smoothie.
yourself, but thank you anyway.
And you too can save. Again, you put things in an Amazon wish list, import the wish list to saveatpurse.com, and then you fund the account with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. And when you get the items, you then go back to saveatpurse.com, say, I got the items, and then somebody on the other end winds up getting Bitcoin, and everybody is happy because you saved 5, 10, 15, 20, 25%, up to 33% at saveatpurse.com. That's saveatpurse, all one word, saveatpurse.com.
And I got to say, it's always amazing. I couldn't tell you how many web searches I've done on various products that I wanted to get, just to have it come up again and go, yes, the lowest priced available is on Amazon, and that people have figured out a way to actually get a better deal from Amazon, which
yes,
is
it's amazing.
Crazy. Yeah. Okay,
absolutely amazing. Saveatpurse.com. Let's go to the phones. We've got Diane calling in from Albuquerque, listening to KABQ 1350. Diane, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I'm referring to last night and Rick Scott, but first I just want to ask you, I'm an Easterner, actually a New Yorker, but I've performed up in Keene, and I mean, it's a beautiful part of the world, the whole of New England. Can I ask you who the owners of your home station are?
Well, we're on about 170 stations across the country. We're an independently broadcast show that's syndicated on the Genesis Communications Network.
Genesis, okay. So you're not owned by Clear Channel or one of those? Or anything like
no.
That? Okay, I just wanted to know. I'm very political, so I just wanted to know.
Us
okay,
too.
as far as the state of emergency that Rick Scott proclaimed, as far as I'm concerned, with Rick Scott's background, current and past, he was fomenting violence. That's why he did that.
Oh, I totally think so.
You do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Declaring a state of
good.
emergency for a speech. I mean, why?
And the over-equipped police as well that he called out, and everybody else.
Well, he has to hype it up so he has so it makes his expansive budget for all those military grade police upgrades. He has to have some reason to put them to use, right?
I'm so glad you're saying this because nobody said it last night.
Oh, that's the first thing I thought when I heard. I saw the
Me
post and I'm
too.
like, wait, what? Did a governor really just declare a state of an emergency for this? And I'm like, this
Are
is
you
why
in
I'm
Florida?
like, no, I'm not. Actually, a lot of my family live in Florida. My mom was born
because you said
in
hour.
St. Petersburg, and
Okay.
Yeah, but I think you'll find if you continue to listen to the show, that each night has its own flavor. It has generally different hosts that have different opinions. I mean, none of us get a script that we follow.
Well, no, I know that. And I'm an old. I'm a member of 4 theatrical radio television unions. I know all about broadcasting. So
and actually, Diane, you're listening on delay broadcast there,
radio.
Right? But you're also listening on delay broadcast.
I know.
There in Albuquerque, and earlier tonight we were talking about how much they wound up spending down there in
I heard
Florida.
that.
Yeah.
Where the university
I
said
heard that earlier.
$500,000. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Who spent the $500?
The university spent $500,000.
Well, technically, the taxpayers.
Sad. It's terribly sad. And I knew that. I know that. And I'm grateful that you are on real time right now for an hour here in Albuquerque, because almost no one is. People say, oh, East, Eastern Standard, Central, Mountain Time, Pacific. They always forget Mountain Time.
Right. So
anyway, I just wanted to put that in, and since you picked it up and agree with me, I'm really pleased because Rick Scott needs to be in jail. We know that he was convicted of fraud, Medicare fraud.
That was a classless act on his part as far as declaring a state of emergency. That was absolutely absurd. It wasn't necessary. It was just him trying to hype up and cause more problems than solve them.
Well,
thank you.
Sometimes government needs new problems to solve.
He is the problem.
Yes, he is the problem.
Sometimes governments try to find new problems to solve, and that's how they kind of can maintain some control.
I don't feel about government the way you do. I'm not a libertarian. I'm a progressive. And I think that I believe in paying my taxes and that we should have taxes. And I believe that the sources of income for the government, and I won't go into all of them, are that's the only entity that can do infrastructure, that can do all the very expensive things that a country needs. So I'm not for privatization. I'm not for a lot of those things. But I'm also a balanced human being, very thoughtful and very well educated, I think. So, but I'm from the theater, and theater people are, and I have a fabulous background, so I really am from the New York theater and Broadway and all of that. And, we are holistic, we are empathetic, we have to be other people. It makes us understand other people more. And so that's why a lot of us are progressive. And I just want to get that out there.
Sure.
But we are not Weinstein fans.
Yeah. Do you, how about wars? Do you like wars?
Hate them. Oh, I'm with you on that. And I'm with you on marijuana.
Well, you can't really have wars without taxation. It makes it very difficult.
Well, I think you can stand against war, but you don't have to be against taxation altogether in order to be against war.
No, I'm just saying that it's very difficult to have wars without
I'm not
taxing
a pacifist.
people. Okay.
I'm not a pacifist. But we are, we're in just too many parts of the world right now. Why the hell are we in Niger? I mean, really, I don't, if Trump has made up this word, fake news, well, we have always called Fox faux news, which is fake, but I don't think that he knows how to speak French. But, and I'm a New Yorker. Nobody had to tell me about him.
Yeah.
I grew up with him, but and I've always found him obnoxious. I just can't look at him, and it has nothing to do with
So
being
have
president.
I. Diane, thank you for the call.
Okay,
and
I'll call
welcome
again.
to the show. Definitely do. And good to have you on board. Good to be on the air there in Albuquerque on KABQ.
I'm only on Thursdays.
This is Free Talk Live.
In an emergency, you need a fire now. But what if the wood is wet? No problem for InstaFire. Our non-toxic fire starter packs lights wet wood, floats, and can even burn on water or in any weather. Sustains winds up to 30 miles per hour, and each pouch weighs only 1.75 ounces. Need an emergency or camp stove? Get the InstaFire Inferno stove that boils 20 ounces of water in under 3 minutes with controllable heat and temps from 425 to 1500 degrees. Free shipping. Go to instafire.com and use discount code RADIO30 up to 3 times for 30% off your order. InstaFire. Fire in an instant.
Dr. Carolyn Dean wants you to have a free chapter of her new book, The Magnesium Miracle 2nd Edition, and it's available at magmiracle.com. In your free chapter, Dr. Carolyn Dean explains how magnesium is essential to support the structure and function and overall health of your body. Your free chapter is your guide to learn how to support your heart, bone, metabolic, lung, and mental health with this powerful mineral. The Magnesium Miracle 2nd Edition is available on Amazon, but right now get a free chapter at magmiracle.com, spelled M-A-G, miracle.com.
Free Talk Live.
Most people, when it comes to what the government demands about their property, the zoning board or whatever department we're dealing with here that claims to have dominion over what you believe to be your property, most people just go along to get along because they understand that something nasty will happen if they don't. They understand that if they don't do what the people calling themselves government demand that they do, that eventually men with guns are going to come to their house, possibly just take it from them. And I think everybody inherently knows that there's a threat of violence behind what the government does. Oh, I know. You like to tell yourself stories about how it's the price of civilization to pay taxes. The price of civilization is zoning. It's the price of civilization to obey orders.
Well, don't forget the pig farm excuse.
Oh, sure, yeah.
If you didn't have zoning, somebody would open a pig farm right next door to you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at ovaltineusa.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855 450 free. That's 855 450 3733. If you like the show and you want to help the show, you can do that by becoming an amplifier. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote, and your contribution of $5 per month minimum winds up helping us reach out to more radio stations to where we can wind up being able to speak to people like Diane, who called in listening to us on a progressive talk radio station. They're both conservative and progressive stations that take Free Talk Live. And your AMP dollars help us reach out to, again, get on more stations. We're already on close to 170. We could be on 200, 300, 400 stations. amp.freetalklive.com. In studio, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And let's go back to the phones. We've got Sarah calling in from Albuquerque. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that I have been learning that why our killer cells, the Pac-Man that kills our cold virus, they have been known to attack healthy cells. So that we can
Hold on.
Hold on. No,
what?
no.
Is she talking about Pac-Man?
Are you talking about white blood cells? Like
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. White blood cells. They kind of look like Pac-Man in some animations.
I've never heard of Pac-Man cells. I know what Pac-Man is.
Right.
I'm very familiar with the game.
That's what
I prefer Mrs. Pac-Man because it's more fun, but I've never heard of anything inside of my body being called the Pac-Man.
If you were to fluoroscope your body when you have a cold, it just basically looks like one big Pac-Man game. Right, Sarah?
Well, what I'm saying is that any defective cell, such as a cold or a flu virus or even a cancer virus, these white blood cells, I call them Pac-Man because they eat it.
Right.
They destroy it. So what I'm saying is that so much of our illness is coming from these killer cells attacking healthy cells, and it's called the autoimmune diseases.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the fibromyalgia, what is that? See, that's one of those diseases, fibromyalgia, where the killer cells are attacking the healthy cells. So I never heard of such a disease, but what I have been learning is that these are happening because we are missing the galactose molecule. It's one of the 8 essential saccharides.
Okay.
We're missing a certain carbohydrate that's only found in fine ripened fruits and vegetables.
So are you saying
so
we're not getting that in our diets?
Right. We need 8 essential saccharides. We get 2 of those. I think it's glucose, and the other ones we get plenty of those. But we are missing the galactose molecule.
So hold on, Sarah. Are you saying that fibromyalgia is caused by a lack of lactose?
It's called we're missing a carbohydrate, an essential carbohydrate. And
right, and you're saying that causes fibromyalgia? Because the Mayo Clinic says that it's genetic, possibly caused by an infection, and sometimes caused from physical trauma. That does not sound like you didn't drink enough milk, so therefore fibromyalgia.
Well, no, I see a lot of references to, and I'm just Googling online, the 8 essential sugars, the saccharides that we need to be getting. And I don't have enough information to offer anything. But it seems like there's a lot of independent media touting the good things about these 8 essential.
Right, and then there's also people trying to sell supplements that will wind up mentioning
Funny
things as well.
I see those on the same pages. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that look, I want to explain the science behind it. Where would carbohydrates, other than we think about like pasta, it gives us energy. We never gave any credit to carbohydrates. But what I'm saying is that these carbohydrates, they actually surround the outside of our amino acids. So that the protein is amino acids that build our cells, and outside of that, we need 8 of these 8 essential saccharides. And we are missing them because you know that, how many people eat out of their gardens now these days? Who has gardens that eat like tomato right off when it's ripe, off the vine, or plums or peaches?
I actually know a fair number of people that do that.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of people who do that. But I think, Sarah, your point's well taken. And I think it's not far-fetched to believe that because we eat so much more processed foods and we eat fewer fruits and vegetables than generations past, that some diseases may have some cause in our nutritional intake as opposed to other reasons. I don't think that's unreasonable. But before I go drastically changing my diet, like so many people did when they said, well, carbs are bad, so eliminate all carbs, I'd want to study up on it a little bit too. But
and then, what was it, 20, 30 years ago? Fat is bad. Cut out all fat.
Right.
This is bad. Cut it out. This is bad. Well, if you cut out everything that everybody has ever said is bad, you're not going to consume anything because, well, there's probably stuff in the water. You can't drink the water. You can't eat table salt because, something, and you can't do this or that.
Red meat's bad for you, yes.
Then you become a breatharian, and, well, Sarah, we know that you think that breatharians are a thing, so continue with your thought.
Look at I want to explain the science behind it. I'm not talking about any like pasta or rice carbohydrate. I'm not talking about a carbohydrate that we get by the ton, like glucose, for example, or the fructose.
All right, so where are you getting your info on this science?
Well, you know what? I was introduced to a product, of these. They have these. My friend sells lead. So the thing about it is that science behind. You asked me where. I listened to one of her lectures. She gave me a CD. Well, the thing is, I ignored her for 12 years. She told me about it, and of course we hear about 1,000 products that's supposed to help your immune system. It's like, what's the difference between vitamin C, vitamin D, calcium? It sounds the same. The zinc. It's supposed to all. So I basically ignored her, and just recently I was interested in it, after 13 years, and she gave me a CD about a seminar. And what she explained is that our cells are surrounded by these sugars, and if we're missing, it's like missing a valve.
Okay, I got one specific question for you. So I'm looking through some of this. Glucosamine, am I pronouncing that incorrect? Glucosamine, okay. This is listed as one of the 8 essential.
It's one of the things that they often suggest people with various forms of arthritis take is a glucosamine, oftentimes with chondroitin.
Okay, well, my point is they're saying that this is one of these things that are essential for good health, but it's found mostly in shark cartilage and the shells of crustaceans. So,
but you know what? That's not a saccharide. I'm looking at galactose molecule. It's a carbohydrate. It's a saccharide. It's a sugar. They're talking about something completely different.
The name of this article is "What are the essential sugars and why are they essential?"
So let me ask this one question real quick, Sarah. So whatever science was presented in this video that you watched, the way science works is it can be replicated. So I come up with a hypothesis, I do an experiment, and then I write down my results. Chris can then replicate my experiment based on my hypothesis and what I did, and he should get the same results. Has that happened with the video that you watched where some science person said, here's my hypothesis, here's my research? Was that replicated? Yes or no?
Replicated? I'm sure it has.
But you don't really know. Sarah, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And if you want to talk about science, well, it needs to actually be science. This is Free Talk Live.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the Crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The Crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the Crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the Crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Back pain doesn't take vacations. It never celebrates holidays. It's on the job 24/7 to keep your life exactly where it is, in limbo. But it doesn't have to be that way, because Laser Spine Institute can help you take back your life from chronic neck and back pain. With a less than 1-inch incision, our minimally invasive procedures have provided relief to over 60,000 patients with a 97% patient satisfaction rate. So get ready to stand tall and live the life you've imagined for yourself without pain. Are you or a loved one suffering from a bulging disc, herniated disc, spinal stenosis, pinched nerve, or degenerative disc disease? Call our spine care consultants now at
855-510-BACK.
For a no-cost MRI review and to learn more. It's time to say goodbye to chronic neck and back pain.
Call 855-510-BACK to see if laser spine surgery is right for you. That's 855-510-BACK.
What have you got to lose? Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The Empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Possibly time for you and your thoughts if you call in now. In studio, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And how would you like to try the best pillow that you will ever use? And you can try it risk-free for 60 days. I'm talking about My Pillow. That's the brand name. You don't get to use mine and leave me without a pillow. The My Pillow is designed to fit to the shape of your body, hold your neck in the proper position. I've been using this thing for a while now, and I can honestly say it's the best pillow I've ever had. And unlike a regular pillow that winds up getting all dusty and dirty with dead skin and dirt, you can actually throw your My Pillow in the washer, throw it in the dryer, and still use it as something other than kindling for a fire. Go to mypillow.com. Use code FTL, as in Free Talk Live, to get your very own My Pillow at half price or get a second pillow free of charge. And remember, if you don't like the My Pillow, in the first 60 days, you get your money back. And the pillow itself is guaranteed to last 10 years. That's mypillow.com, code FTL.
And going back to our story regarding LA's drone program, they were quick to point out here that drones would not be weaponized or used during surveillance, and their use would have to be approved on a case-by-case basis.
All right, so let's sort of go back in the story just a hair, where the Los Angeles Police Oversight Commission approved the use of drones for the LAPD, saying it's going to be used in limited capacities, including high-risk tactical operations, barricaded armed suspect response, hostage rescue, and situations involving threat of exposure to hazardous material and the need to detect explosive devices, but we're not using it as surveillance.
Right, and we're not going to be using it as a weapons platform.
Right, so the only part of this that I believe is that as of right now, they don't intend to put weapons on this, but there's no way that you can fly a drone over some situation and not surveil what you're looking at.
Yeah, and I think what they're saying, what they're attempting to say is, people of LA, relax. We're not just going to fly drones by your house and look in your windows. It's not going to be for that. It's only going to be for these very few limited specific things. Sort of like the NSA saying, we're only going to look at metadata, but then it comes out that certain NSA employees were recording, listening to phone calls of their girlfriends and looking through their girlfriends' email.
Yeah, I don't agree with the whole spy, like flying drones over houses and stuff. Like, nope.
You have a problem with that?
I know.
The PRISM
My whole thing
program
is like, even if we have a
keywords.
government and even if we have a police department, I believe the police department should function like the fire department, meaning you stay there, and when we need you, we'll call.
Going to be volunteer?
Sure. Like, but when we need you, we'll call you. Like, you shouldn't be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to drive around looking for crime. Like, no, thank you.
Should we not then enact laws like the war on drugs?
No,
so that
I don't believe so. I think it's stupid. I think
suspects in crime?
You know what? Like, I think if people are out and they're causing danger, and you know, in good faith, make a phone call to a police department and say, "Hey, this guy looks drunk. He almost struck a tree or something." Like, let the guy sober up or something. You know, I think I don't see any problem with that. And I know there's some people that think like, oh, you can't call on people that are drunk. Like, no, you know what? I'm not one of those people that I can see something and then just not care and move on with my life. You know what I mean?
Something.
Well, yeah, because that person could hit your freaking grandmother coming down the other lane. You never know. Like, it's just, you would do what you'd expect other people to do in good faith.
People do take that approach. Other people say that, you know, even the example of a drunk driver, there is no victim unless something goes wrong. I say that as someone who's driven drunk more times than I should have in my life.
You know, enough people die every year from it. Like, really, if they want to hate me because they got PC'd for a night, like, whatever.
PC being placed under protective custody.
Ah, gotcha.
I think that wouldn't be a bad first thing if somebody's, you know, had a little too much to drink, like PC them front.
Right,
I don't
but
think
that's
you need
generally
to
not what happens.
Well,
What generally happens is they wind up getting charged with a DUI, and then they go to court and
they are going to
lose
pay
their license.
$2,000 to $3,000 in fines, and that money generally goes to fund other programs.
Yeah,
which
I know.
Furthers, yeah,
My father has no license right now. He's a friggin' disabled vet, became an alcoholic, got 3 DUIs, doesn't have his license.
Yeah.
I mean,
and if he drives anywhere, then driving on suspended, and you get a couple of those, and then you wind up going to jail for a year.
Right.
Yeah, well, see, I'm one of those people where I'm like, you know what? Like, I saw the state my dad was in sometimes when he would go to get into cars. It was like, that's not right, you know? It's not right.
I don't disagree with you, and I think it's a matter of personal responsibility.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I'm one of those people where I'd rather take the heat for doing what I thought was right in the moment than not do it at all, and then have it on my conscience if something happened.
Sure, but you have people that get pulled over for suspicion of drunk driving, and then they find something else in their car, right?
Well, I've gotten charged with it before.
Yeah, but is that right? If you're not drinking, do you?
I argued my case and I beat it, though. You know what I mean? Like, I made my case.
How many people don't have that ability to do? Maybe they don't feel they can. They're frightened of the court system.
Well, that's
they
why
don't
I think
want to
we
argue
need
their
good
own
public
case,
attorneys.
They can't take the day off of work to wind up going to court.
Right.
Well, that's why a lot of these, a lot of people that are activists should go become attorneys and advocate on behalf of people.
Because that's the easy. It's
No,
super easy to become an attorney, apparently.
There are, but also to be honest about whether some laws are truly helpful or whether sometimes they do more damage than the good they're supposed to provide. And that's the slippery slope. There has to be balance. And I don't mind. You said it before. I'd like to live in a small town where we have a small I like that. I like local government. As much as I pretty much despise all levels of government, if I had to pick one of them, it'd be my town. We just do the right thing, take care of our neighbors, call our local cops up when they need them. They don't need to drive around and look for reasons to bust people. Just at that small level, things tend to work much, much better than when you've got 535 people who are confronted with bribery every single day by lobbyists.
This is the problem, too, is in every state, right? You get federal police, state police, local police. You get all these other freaking different police forces. And it's like, no. Each town can have their own local one, and they can communicate with each other. Why do we have state police? Why do we have federal police?
I'll second that. We agree on something, Heather. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's jump back into this LA drone article. Again, only 6% of people that took the time to contact the LA Civilian Board of Police commissioners supported giving the LAPD drones. The other 94% that reached out via email. We don't know how many people sent handwritten letters or made telephone calls, but 94% of those that sent emails did not support this program. The Board of Commissioners wound up approving it anyway, but don't worry, it's going to be limited in scope, and it's not going to be weaponized for now, and we're not going to use it for surveillance for now, but that could be approved on a case-by-case basis.
Correct. The commission also added several more amendments before the final vote, including that facial recognition technology would not be used on the drones.
For now.
The LAPD's pursuit of a pilot program is a reversal of its policy after it abandoned the idea of using drones 3 years ago in the face of protests from activists. Members of the Stop LAPD Spying Coalition, the Drone-Free LAPD/No Drones, LA exclamation point campaign, and the American Civil Liberties Union of Southern California and other civil rights organizations have been vocal about their opposition to the program over concerns that, quote, mission creep, unquote, will lead to the devices one day being armed or used for surveillance to infringe on privacy rights.
Or both.
Quote, drones represent a significant threat to privacy, one that is very difficult to contain once drones are deployed for any use whatsoever, unquote, said Melanie Ocha, an ACLU staff attorney at a commission meeting in August. The groups have also charged that because the emails to the LAPD received on the program were overwhelmingly negative, the commission is not interested in the public feedback it is receiving and is just going through the motions. The Los Angeles City Council cleared the way in June for the city's fire department to begin using drones. An LA Fire Department report addressed the issue of privacy concerns and said the devices would not be used to monitor or provide surveillance for law enforcement.
Oh, that just made me think, though, like using drones to see who's in a burning building in order to rescue them. Like, what a good use.
This is Free Talk Live. We're out of time for tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow, always online at freetalklive.com. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute.